Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Buhari meets security chiefs, gives December deadline to consolidate fight against corruption. Old Port Harcourt refinery to begin operations December FG. Gani Adams seeks rejuvenation of OPC in Yoruba land. I may become king after office, Governor Dapo Abiodun. Illegal protest, withdraw Fashola's son, Nance tells committee. Sheikh Gùnm's investigation, arrests will end terrorism. Zamfara resident gives Canoe 19 million naira protection levy to terrorists. And on foreign, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky involved in car accidents. And on sports, you have appointed the wrong manager. You will regret it. Glenn Johnson. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday met with security chiefs, including their other managers in the security value chain, where he commended them on recent feats achieved in taming issues of banditry and kidnapping in the country. Buhari, who presided over the Security Council meeting at his office in the presidential villa, however, told them to consolidate on the gains achieved so far before December this year. Recall that President Buhari had given a marching order to the security managers to go after and wipe out all forms of terrorism in the country, especially banditry and kidnapping. Before the presidential directive, acts of banditry and kidnapping, which were rampant in the country, portrayed the government in a bad light, prompting several stakeholders to vote past no confidence in the ability to protect lives and properties. Briefing State House correspondent of what transpired in the meeting, which lasted just 2 hours, the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, said the president was particularly pleased with the Nigerian police force for maintaining high professionalism during the conduct of gubernatorial elections in Ekiti, Osun, and Anambra states. Aregbesola also revealed that the Security Council meeting deliberated on the activities of the National Task Force on the prohibition of illegal importation, smuggling of arms, ammunition, light weapons, chemical weapons, and pipeline vandalism, not force, accusing it of impersonating security personnel in other similar agencies. Some sort of refinery stories. The Minister of State for Petroleum Services, Timothy Silva, has restated federal government's commitment to revive the old Port Harcourt refinery in Rivers State by December 2022. Silva, who entered these at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, at the Council Chamber, Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said the development of the compressed natural gas is still in progress. Fielding questions on the state of the ongoing repairs of the nation's refineries, Silva said the old one with 60,000 barrels per day capacity will be functional by the end of 2022. We are also progressing both Warri and Kaduna refineries. He further assured the ministry is working assiduously to ensure that everything is put in place before the end of the year 2022. From the angle of the OPC, Mr. Adams says Yorubas cannot afford to put their faith in the hands of conventional security operatives who have no motivation to tackle insecurity. Yoruba General Simo Gani Adams has told leaders in the Southwest region to strengthen regional militias, the Oodua People's Congress, to neutralize security threats. Mr. Adams, the Area or Nokakamfu of Yoruba land, said the people of the Southwest cannot afford to put their faith in the hands of conventional security operatives who have no motivation to tackle insecurity. We are here to raise our voices against terrorism in the Southwest. Today's gathering is based on the need to beef up security across the region, the Yoruba warlord said on Wednesday at the second edition of the Oodua People's Congress OPC Dependable Security Team meeting in Abeokuta. We cannot leave our faith in the hands of security operatives and agencies that seem to have been overwhelmed by the raging spate of insecurity in the country. Mr. Adams explained that the existing security architecture put in place by the federal government can no longer guarantee the safety of lives and property of the people. Still another story from Ogun State. Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State has hinted that he might become a traditional ruler after leaving office. Abiodun, who re-emphasized that he is a prince from a royal family, said he might go and search for the crown and join the League of Traditional Rulers in Ogun, who he said he envies because their reign is still death. The governor disclosed this while addressing traditional rulers at a meeting in Joga, Orile, Yewa North, local government area of Ogun State. Abiodun said the Ogun West monarchs, led by the Eselu of Iselu, Oba Akintunde Akinyemi, had visited his office to inform him of the decision to endorse his second term in office. According to Abiodun, he had insisted that the endorsement be done within the domain of the monarchs, who tag themselves the trusted monarchs. When the executive of the trusted royals meted the idea that they wanted to endorse me, I said, let me come to your domain for the endorsement. The governor said, we must always give you obas the regards due to you. I particularly understand the roles of obas in governance. You are the closest to the grassroots. You are the custodians of our very rich culture and traditions. You are the ones that feel the pulse of our citizens. You know them better than we do. And we must ensure that we continue to consult with you. We must accord you the importance and the relevance that your throne deserves, the governor concluded. Moving forward to another story, the National Association of Nigerian Students has called for the withdrawal of the Senate's Senior Advocate of Nigeria title of the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. This was following the comments made by the minister earlier on Wednesday in Abuja, where he described as illegal the blocking of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway by the protesting students. The Punch report that NANS had since Tuesday embarked on a protest grounding the traffic landing Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as it demanded that the federal government resolve the ongoing strike action of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, so that the students can resume academic activities. NANS, in a statement sent to the Punch late Wednesday, signed by its National Public Relations Officer, Giwa Temitope, asked the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee in Nigeria to withdraw Fashola's SAN title. Moving on to terrorism. The investigation and subsequent arrest of a controversial Islamic cleric, Sheikh Ahmed Gùnm, will end the spate of banditry and insecurity in the northwest Nigeria, the National Interfaith Movement has said. According to the Interfaith group, Gùnm must explain his relationship with bandits following the arrest of his media consultant and ally, Tukur Mamu. Mamu, a newspaper publisher, was recently arrested at Cairo International Airport in Egypt while on his way to Saudi Arabia. He was deported to Nigeria and picked up by the Security Police Department of State Services at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport. Mamu is currently in court over alleged links to terrorism. The DSS said Mamu was on his way to Saudi Arabia to meet with international commanders of terror groups. The Interfaith Movement said relative peace has returned to the northwest, especially the troubled Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, since the terrorist negotiator was nabbed. The group, in a statement signed by Reverend Amos Ada, its national president, however, urged the security agencies to go a step further to arrest Gùnm. According to Ada, the Kaduna-based cleric is Mamu's boss, noting that the journalist may have been following Gùnm's instructions. The Reverend said Gùnm must explain to Nigerians his compassion for terrorists and states categorically how he has benefited from insecurity bedeviling the nation. Moving on to Zamfara State, terrorists operating in Zamfara have collected about 19 million naira as a protection levy from residents of 14 communities in Anka local government area of the state. The communities also bought a canoe for the government ahead of the rainy season. Sahara reporters gathered that most of the affected villages are under the control of the terrorists. Residents said the move became necessary following the nonchalant attitude of the government and security operatives and agencies who seem to have abandoned them to their fate and gestation any idea of providing security for them. They lamented the incessant killings and abductions in the community by gunmen who operate freely. In recent times, security agents and civilians have both suffered several attacks at the hands of the terrorists in the state. Agrarian communities in the state have also been terrorized by gangs who raid villages, steal cattle, and kidnap residents for money. From that story, we'll go to the foreign story. A motorist collided with a vehicle carrying Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky as his motorcade passed through Kiev though the president was not seriously injured in the accident, a spokesman said early Thursday morning. In Kiev, a passenger car collided with the car of the president of Ukraine and escort vehicles. Spokesman Zagiel Nikiforov said in a statement posted on Facebook at 1:22 a.m. local time. Medics accompanying the president provided the driver of the passenger car with emergency aid and transferred him to an ambulance. He continued. The president was examined by a doctor. No serious injuries were detected. The law enforcement officers will investigate all circumstances of the accident. In his nightly televised address, video of which was posted shortly after the incident, Zelensky said he had just returned from the area around Kharkiv, adding that almost the entire region is deoccupied after a lightning counteroffensive to dislodge Russian troops. And finally, on sports, former Liverpool and England defender Glenn Johnson has said that Chelsea has appointed the wrong manager. According to him, it was a wrong decision for the Blues to sack Thomas Tuchel. He said the decision could come back to bite Chelsea, claiming they appointed the wrong manager in Graham Potter. Tuchel was sacked as Chelsea manager a week ago after he led the West Londoners to a 1-0 loss to Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League. Johnson was shocked by Tuchel's dismissal, saying he would have appointed Mauricio Pochettino as the club's new manager instead of Potter. When Thomas Tuchel was sacked, I thought it was obvious that Chelsea would move for Mauricio Pochettino, but obviously I got it wrong, Johnson told bettingodds.com. He would have been the man for me. I know some people were saying it would have been a cheaper option to go for Graham Potter, but it doesn't sound that way, does it? That concludes the world news for BGI TV. Before we go, some quick headlines. Buhari meets security chiefs, gives December deadline. Old Port Harcourt refinery to gain operations December, FG. Gani Adams seeks rejuvenation of OPC in Yoruba land. And on sport, you have appointed the wrong manager. You will regret it. Glenn Johnson. Spike on Chelsea. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Bagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adibayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For other placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, both outdoor. The phone number streaming on the screen is the direct line to call strictly for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.